Single parenting can feel like a solo journey, but it doesn't have to be. Introducing MomFlex app, the ultimate village web app designed just for you. From financial support to community connections, MomFlex app offers a lifeline, helping you navigate parenting with confidence. Find trusted resources, build your support network, and thrive, because every parent deserves a village. Join the movement today. Visit momflex.org to install the app and take the first step toward a stronger, more supported you.
Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Beyond the Struggle, Rise and Thrive. I'm your host, LaFortune, and I'm truly grateful you are here with me today. We're about to dive into a conversation that resonates deeply for so many. One that carries weight, complexity, and often unspoken hurt. Today's episode is titled The Blame Game, Healing the Rift Between Mothers and Children. And if just hearing that stirs something inside you, know that you're not alone. Because here's the truth. The mother-child bond is supposed to be the most sacred, the most nurturing. But for countless families, that bond becomes strained, broken, or lost in silence. What begins as misunderstanding can grow into years of resentment. What starts as a coping mechanism can become a legacy of emotional distance. And at the center of it all, blame. Blame can feel like a shield. It protects us from pain, from guilt, from vulnerability. But over time, it becomes a barrier to connection, a wall that keeps love out just as much as it tries to keep pain at bay. Whether you are a mother wondering how things went so wrong, or an adult child carrying wounds that were never acknowledged, this episode is for you. We will explore the roots of these rifts, how generational trauma, unmet expectations, and emotional misattunement shape the dynamics. And most importantly, we will talk about what healing can actually look like. Because healing isn't about pretending it didn't hurt. It is about finding a new way forward, one step at a time. So take a breath, settle in, and let's walk this road together.
Every day's a battle, every step a climb, but we're standing tall, we're building our lives. Through the sleepless nights and the endless fight, we rise, we shine, we hold on tight. We are more than the labels, more than the pain, breaking the cycle, rewriting the game. Stronger together, we lift, we strive. Single parents, we rise and thrive. Beyond the struggle, we rise and thrive. Turning our pain into power, we're alive. We see you, you matter, you're strong inside. Together we shine, we rise, we thrive. Stories of triumph, stories of grace. Single parents with dreams to chase. They said we'd break, they said we'd fall, but look at us now, we're standing tall.
Let's be real. The mother-child relationship is one of the most powerful bonds we experience in our lifetime. It's our first mirror, reflecting back our sense of worth, identity, and belonging. It's our first teacher, shaping how we relate to ourselves and the world. And ideally, it's our first experience of safety, love, and unconditional support. But for many, that sacred space becomes the first place we encounter pain. Maybe it was neglect, emotional or physical. Maybe it was pressure to be someone we weren't. Maybe love was given with conditions or not given at all. Sometimes it's the words that were said in anger, or the words we needed to hear that never came. And sometimes it's not about one big moment. It's the slow erosion of connection over years, the silence, the misunderstandings, the distance that keeps growing. When those wounds go acknowledged, when needs aren't met, boundaries are crossed, or trust is broken. The emotional impact doesn't just fade away with time. It follows us. It shows up in our relationships, our sense of self, even in how we parent or connect with others. And in that pain, blame can feel like the only way to make sense of it all. It gives us something to hold on to. For the child, it might sound like, if only she had loved me better. For the mother, it might echo as, I did the best I could. Why can't they see that? But here's the thing. When blame might offer short-term clarity, it rarely leads to lasting healing. True healing asks us to look deeper at patterns, at unmet needs, and at what was possible and what wasn't in that moment. It asks us to sit with discomfort, with grief, with compassion for ourselves and for the other.
Single parenting can feel like a solo journey, but it doesn't have to be. Introducing Mom Flex app, the ultimate village web app designed just for you. From financial support to community connections, Mom Flex app offers a lifeline, helping you navigate parenting with confidence. Find trusted resources, build your support network, and thrive, because every parent deserves a village. Join the movement today. Visit momflex.org to install the app and take the first step toward a stronger, more supported you. MomFlex app.
So today, we are going to unpack why these rifts happen in the first place. Why blame can feel so seductive, and how both mothers and children can begin the hard but necessary journey of repair. Whether your child carrying years of unspoken pain, or the mother wondering where things went off course and how to make it right, this episode is for you. No matter your story, know this: healing is possible. Maybe not overnight, maybe not perfectly, but step by step, conversation by conversation, heart to heart, it can begin. Let's get into it.
Every day's a battle, every step a climb, but we're standing tall, we're building our lives. Through the sleepless nights and the endless fight, we rise, we shine, we hold on tight. We are more than the labels, more than the pain, breaking the cycle, rewriting the game. Stronger together, we lift, we strive. Single parents, we rise and thrive. Beyond the struggle, we rise and thrive. Turning our pain into power, we're alive. We see you matter, you're strong inside. Together we shine, we rise, we thrive.
Understanding the rift. So often, it's not one explosive argument or dramatic turning point. More often, it's a slow, subtle unraveling, a series of small breaks, a missed "I'm proud of you," a door that wasn't knocked, a hug that didn't come, the birthday that was forgotten, the apology that was never offered. These moments pile up quietly almost invisibly, until one day the distance between mother and child feels impossible to cross. Sometimes the root is deeper: trauma, abuse, neglect. Sometimes the root is deeper: trauma, abuse, neglect, cycles of addiction, emotional absence, unhealed wounds pass from one generation to the next, like family heirlooms no one asked for. And sometimes it's just the deep fatigue of two people doing their best but falling short, trying to love each other while drowning in their own unspoken pain. A child might grow up feeling unheard, invisible, or constantly judged, while a mother may carry the weight of sacrifice, feeling overlooked, misunderstood, or resented despite giving what she thought was everything. Slowly, a wall is built, not always intentionally, but brick by brick, through years of pain, confusion, silence, and unmet needs. And behind that wall is blame. Blame sounds like she never protected me. He doesn't understand what I sacrifice. She always criticizes me. Nothing I do is good enough. I gave them everything and still it's not enough. Blame gives us something to point to, a reason, a target. But the deeper truth beneath the blame is grief. Grief for the love we wanted but didn't receive. Grief for the childhood we didn't get to have. Grief for the mother we hoped she had been, or the child we thought we had raised. Grief for the connection we still long for but can't quite grasp. This is the part of the journey that's hardest to face, because grief asks us to sit with what wasn't, not just what was. It asks us to mourn the relationship as we hoped it would be, before we can begin to rebuild it into something new. That's what we are here to explore. Not just how to name the pain, but how to begin to moving through it towards understanding, towards compassion, and maybe, just maybe, toward repair. Let's explore the role of generational pain. But before we do, let's take a little break.
Every day's a battle, every step a climb, but we're standing tall, we're building our lives. Through the sleepless nights and the endless fight, we rise, we shine, we hold on tight.
We cannot talk about the blame game without talking about generational pain. Because here's the reality. Most mothers were once daughters who never got the tenderness, safety, or emotional atonement they needed. They were taught to survive, not to feel, to keep going, not to speak up, to be strong, even when they were silently breaking. So they learned to bury their pain, to armor it up, to love in the only ways they knew. Ways that may have felt like discipline, criticism, or distance to the children they raise. And many of those children, now adults, carry the weight of that pain. Not just their own, but the pain their mothers never unpacked. They grew up navigating emotional minefields, learning to read the room before they could even read words. They learned that love had conditions, that approval had a cost, And maybe they never heard, "I'm sorry." Maybe they never saw their pain acknowledged, only dismissed, minimized, or ignored. It's heartbreaking cycle. The unmet needs of one generation become the invisible wounds of the next. Here's the truth. Hurt people hurt people. Not because they are cruel, but because pain distorts perception. It shapes how we relate, how we protect ourselves, how we interpret others' action. When we are hurting, we don't just see others clearly. We see them through the feelers and filters of our wounds. But there is good news. Heal people heal people. When we do the work to look inward, to name our pain, to sit with discomfort and break the silence, we interrupt the cycle. We stop passing the torch of trauma. We start creating new patterns, healthier legacies, and that can change everything. Let's be clear. This understanding doesn't excuse toxic behavior. It doesn't mean you have to keep accepting hurtful patterns or stay in unhealthy dynamics. Boundaries are essential. Accountability matters. But what compassion does offer us is a new lens. It helps us move from judgment to curiosity. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with them?" we begin to ask, "What happened to them? What shaped them? And how has that pain shaped me?" Because the path to healing isn't paved from blame. It's paved with understanding. It's not about denying the damage, but about refusing to let it define the future. So whether you are a mother trying to break free from the patterns you inherited, or a child trying to reclaim your voice and your worth, this is where the healing begins, with truth, with tenderness, and with the courage to see each other more fully. So let's talk healing. Not the Instagram kind, not the just forgive and move on kind, but real, raw, courageous healing. Healing isn't linear. It often starts with one brave decision to break the cycle. And I want to share something personal with you. For many years, I blamed my mother, my own mother. I blamed her for not allowing me to know my father. I blamed her for not caring, for not loving me enough. I truly believe she loved my brothers more. I carried that pain like an armor. I grew up angry at her, bitter, and we had a very difficult relationship. The dynamic between us was strained, full of unspoken pain and unresolved questions. But as she neared the end of her life, something shifted in me. I started to feel maybe I was wrong about her. When she passed, guilt hit me like a wave. I was lost. That grief cracked something open inside me, and I knew I needed help. So I signed up for therapy. I did EMDR, and that work changed everything in me. I was finally able to walk through my trauma. I could see her. I could see my mother. I could really see her. I began to understand the sacrifices my mother made for me, for us all, for all her children and her family. Silent, heavy, and visible sacrifices that my mother made for all of us, for our future. I saw the choices she made not out of cruelty, but out of fear, survival, love, and limits. I came to realize that she did in fact love me, just in her own way. I was able to forgive her. I was able to forgive myself. And oh, how I wish she were here now, so I could say that to her, so I could thank her, so I could let her know that I see her now and that she did a good job raising us up. She did well. She did perfect. She did great. But she's not here. So if you are listening right now and your mother is still alive, I want to invite you from the depth of my heart. Please try to fix that relationship today. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because there are no perfect moments. Don't wait until it's too late like I did, because you will feel sorry for yourself your whole life. Even if it's hard, even if it's complicated, because healing doesn't just set them free, it sets you free. It looks like a daughter going to therapy and finally putting words to her pain. A mother acknowledging for the first time what she didn't always get it right. One vulnerable conversation that begins with, I want to understand you, instead of, you never did this. Setting healthy boundaries even when it hurts. Choosing compassion over control. And sometimes it looks like healing alone, because reconciliation takes two, but peace starts with one. If you are the child, know this: your pain is valid. You don't have to pretend it didn't happen. You are allowed to grieve the mother you needed. If you are the mother, know this: you are more than your mistakes. It is never too late to learn, to grow, to say I'm sorry and mean it. Healing is not about pretending everything was okay. It's about finally being honest enough to move forward, even if it's slowly. When reconciliation isn't possible, it's okay too, because sometimes healing doesn't mean reunion. This is one of the hardest truths to sit with, especially in a world that romanticizes reconciliation and teaches us that family should always come first, no matter the cost. But the reality is, not every relationship is meant to be restored. Not every bond can or should be rebuilt.
Single parenting can feel like a solo journey, but it doesn't have to be. Introducing Mom Flex app, the ultimate village web app designed just for you. From financial support to community connections, Mom Flex app offers a lifeline, helping you navigate parenting with confidence. Find trusted resources, build your support network, and thrive, because every parent deserves a village. Join the movement today. Visit momflex.org to install the app and take the first step toward a stronger, more supported you.
If your relationship with your mother or child is unsafe, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, then healing might not look like heartfelt conversations or hugs at the holidays. It might look like space, distance, silence. It might look like loving from afar, or loving yourself enough to walk away completely. And that doesn't make you cold. That doesn't make you ungrateful, unloving, or unforgiving. It makes you brave. It makes you wise, because choosing your peace, your safety, your well-being, it's an act of radical self-respect. And that too is healing. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's not about saying what happened was okay. It's about opening yourself back up to harm. It's not about opening yourself back up to harm. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. It's about releasing the grip that anger, that resentment or bitterness has on your life. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of pain so you can breathe again, so you can live again. Some people will never be able to take accountability. They won't apologize. They won't see the harm they cause, and that's hard. But your healing isn't dependent on their growth. It's dependent on yours. You don't need their permission to heal. You don't need their participation to break the cycle. Healing, in its truest form, is not always loud or visible. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's found in the way you choose to parent differently, in the way you speak to yourself with kindness, in the way you stop begging for love and start creating it from within. So if reconciliation feels out of reach or unsafe or simply not right for your journey, know this: you are not failing. You are honoring the truth. And sometimes that's the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for the generations that follow. Oh, I know this was a heavy episode. We touch deep places, wounds that may carry quietly, sometimes for decades. Conversations like this aren't easy. They stir things up. They bring grief to the surface. And they might leave you feeling raw, tender, or uncertain about what comes next. But here's the beautiful thing about truth. When we shine a light on these wounds, when we speak them out loud, name them, and give them space to exist, we give them a chance to breathe. And that breathes, and what breathes, what's no longer buried in silence and shame, can begin to heal. The blame game, it's easy, it's familiar. It gives us a target for our pain, a sense of control in the chaos. But as long as we stay in that space, pointing fingers at our mothers, at our children, at ourselves, we stay stuck in old stories, stuck in cycles, stuck in the past. Healing sets us free. Free to feel, free to forgive, free to choose something different. Healing doesn't erase the past. It empowers us to relate to it differently. It gives us the ability to say, this happened to me, and now I get to decide how it ends. And I want to leave you with these powerful words from the late great Bell Hooks. Forgiveness is an act of love. It's a conscious decision to release feelings of resentment. When we forgive, we allow ourselves to heal. Let that sink in. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's not pretending everything was okay. It's choosing not to let resentment poison your peace. It's choosing freedom for you. So wherever you are on your journey, whether you are ready to reconnect, setting boundaries for the first time, or simply learning how to hold yourself with more tenderness, I see you. I honor your courage. Let's stop playing the blame game. Let's start the healing journey together, one honest step at a time, together. If this episode spoke to you, share with someone who needs it. And remember, you are not alone. You are not broken. You are becoming. Until next time, keep rising, keep thriving, and keep going beyond the struggle. Ciao now.
Every day's a battle, every step a climb, but we're standing tall, we're building our lives. Through the sleepless nights and the endless fight, we rise, we shine, we hold on tight. We are more than the labels, more than the pain, breaking the cycle, rewriting the game. Stronger together we lift, we strive. Single parents, we rise and thrive. Beyond the struggle, we rise and thrive. Turning our pain into power, we're alive. We see you, you matter, you're strong inside. Together we shine, we rise, we thrive. Stories of triumph, stories of grace. Single parents with dreams to chase. They said we'd break, they said we'd fall, but look at us now, we're standing tall. We are more than the labels, more than the pain, breaking the cycle, rewriting the game. Stronger together we lift, we strive. Single parents, we rise and thrive. Beyond the struggle, we rise and thrive. Turning our pain into power, we're alive. We see you, you matter, you're strong inside. Together we shine, we rise, we thrive. We push through the stigma, defy every step. They don't define us, and that's a fact. A village of love, a future so bright. Hand in hand, we own our life. Beyond the struggle, we rise and thrive. Turning our pain into power, we're alive. We see you, you matter, you're strong inside. Together we shine, we rise, we thrive. The journey is tough, but we're not alone. In this village we found